Hi, everybody, and welcome to this week's edition of Harding Football with Paul Simmons. The Bison's a 56-46 victory on Saturday night against UAM. Back-to-back victories now for the Bison's the last couple of weeks. And Paul Simmons, we saw the scene outside the First Security Stadium before the game. Just a perfect day for Bison football, and the fans were not disappointed Saturday night.
I tell you what, it was a gorgeous day, and boy, we had a great tailgate party and really exciting. And you know, that was a really hard-fought victory, and boy, had a lot of chances to kind of throw the towel in. We were down 2 scores late in the ball game, and you know, we talked all week about just sticking together and fighting together. And I really feel like the Bison brotherhood, the things that we believe in and talk about and try to be about, were really on full display in that ball game. So it was a good victory, and it was a fun victory. It was fun.
Coach, how important was it to come back home after winning on the road a week ago and get your first home win this past Saturday for the football team?
It was big. It was big for us. It really was. You know, just plus being parents tonight, we had a lot of parents that don't live close by and get to come once a year, and so for our young men to win in front of their parents and from our home fans is a big deal.
So we have a lot of highlights to get to, with the Bisons winning 56-46 on Saturday night, and we have a full show ahead. We'll come back and look at first half highlights right after this.
A full life, measured in seats, starts with the right ones early on. Car crashes are a leading killer of children 1 to 13. Learn how to prevent deaths and injuries by using the right car seat for your child's age and size.
Welcome back to Harding Football with Paul Simmons. The Bisons 56-46, the victory, their second win of the season on Saturday night. And we have a lot of highlights to get to, and we'll start with first quarter highlights. And UAM wanted the football to begin the game, and we'll see Cameron Scott with a kickoff here to begin the game. And Coach, it's a high-powered UAM offense you knew that you were going to see on Saturday night.
Well, it was. You know, going into the game, we knew, you know, these guys really are a few plays away from being 4-0, and they're quarterback is really a competitor and dangerous, and I think Jalen Tolliver is the best receiver, if not the best player in the league right now. And we gave him a career night, and it makes me sick, but I tell you what, he is hard to handle.
There is Jalen Tolliver, and a perfect pass, good coverage there, but boy, what a pass there from Sears.
Tony Beckton was hanging all over him, but you know, the ball was thrown in a spot where he could only catch it. And it's tough to deal with.
And how important is it for your football team now to come back and respond after UAM scores on the first series?
Well, really important. You know, anytime you're a young team and, you know, confidence is so big, and to come out and march down the field. And, you know, honestly, our offense really did not get stopped all night long. You know, we had a few times where we stopped ourselves with a penalty and a fumbled pitch, but, boy, they marched all night long, and just a bunch of guys had great nights for us. The offensive line was fantastic all night. Here's Grant Kimberlin. Boy, I thought Grant hit it faster than he had all year. I mean, he hit some tiny seams and he hit it wide open. And he's got a gear really that nobody else has on our team. I mean, he can really fly.
Offensive line at times were just dominating in the football game.
They really were. They were really, really dominant. Really proud of them, and you know, pretty awesome.
Coach Hansey's first of 4 touchdowns on Saturday night. He became only the 5th Bison to rush for 4 touchdowns in a game.
Well, Coach Hansey is growing up fast, and he's kind of becoming a little hero in that locker room, and all the guys, they love him, they rally behind him. He gets so many yards after contact, and that's all about body posture and competing and just having great desire. And boy, he is going to be a great Bison. He's got a great career ahead of him, and super excited about having that young man with us.
And now, Coach, here you stopped Sears, what was third down and short, and defensive line with really a good penetration there, and you force a punt.
You know, the D-line is playing better. We got some young guys that are having to play that probably aren't ready, but, man, they are getting better in a hurry. Daniel Anderson, Sean G. Bird, Tremaine Brock, Antonio Montez, those guys are getting better quickly.
And special teams got a piece of that punt right there, and here we come right back with Andrew Dather from Dingle.
Yep, big time play right there, big time momentum play, got him wide open, and Terrence put a little touch on it. Yeah, that was a big score for us for sure.
So the Bison's up 14-6. And again, the special teams set up that very good field position with a piece of that punt.
Yeah, Dylan Hendricks, young man that's a redshirt freshman for us, putting great pressure on that, and that kind of turned the field for us, and that was a big play for us for sure. I thought the kickoff team covered really well all night with the exception of one time. You know, those guys were flying around, giving a lot of effort. Here we go again, though, Mr. Tolliver. That guy's a senior, and I could not be happier. I hope he gets the diploma and rides off into the sunset and never comes back. He's a great player.
That was a big play. That was on third down to convert as we move in now into the second quarter with the Bisons with a 14-6 advantage.
You know, they ran quite a bit of what you call RPO. It's a run-pass option, and it really makes it hard on your linebackers. What they do is they read your linebackers, and if your linebackers suck up on the run game, they'll throw the ball behind them, and it's difficult. They had that going pretty well.
UAM deep in Bison territory right here, and there is Terry Bozeman actually came in and threw that touchdown pass to Jalen Tolliver there.
You know, the thing that we could have done better and should have done better is get more pressure on the quarterback. You know, you can't stop a receiver that great unless you put great pressure on the quarterback. Well, here's a great reverse. Coach Hill coaches the return team and does a great job with that. We ended the play with a very foolish penalty, but getting the ball on the 40-yard line is a great way to start the drive off, and a great run by Zach Shelley, who continues to be an awesome player for us. So proud of him. Boy, it's great to see Romar Reeves back. Boy, great to see him back. He played tough, played hard, ran over that guy there, punished him, and you know, when those two guys are rolling, Romar and Cole, that is a great 1-2 punch. Yeah,
in this series he would have two rushes of more than 10 yards on the rush, one for 11, one for 14 on this drive.
Yeah, he is a talented young man without a doubt.
That was a 9-play, 47-yard drive with the missed field goal right there, but UAM now with the football back.
Yeah, I thought Tristan would stick that one in there. He just barely missed that one. But we caused him to punt, got a 3-and-out, great stop for us. Got the ball back with a chance to start marching again.
So the Bisons with the football here, still 14-12 with advantage. UAM missed, actually the first extra point was blocked.
Well, we actually blocked the extra point, and that was a big deal because they chased that point all night.
Right.
They went for two several times and didn't get it, and that the lead kept stretching because of that. Here's a big-time conversion on third down to Romar. Big play right there.
15 yards from Romar Reeds.
Boy, I had a decision to make right here. There was 30 seconds left in the ball game, and I couldn't decide whether to punt it or not. We decided to go for it, but we had our guy wide open, and we just couldn't get it to him. And what I was afraid would happen happened. We'd have too much time on the clock, and they got the ball and stuck it in the end zone. Threw a Hail Mary to the big boy and came down with it. And really, this was a big time momentum deal for us. We go in the half, down, and we felt like we had outplayed them, but we go in down and had a great chance to kind of get our heads down, but we didn't do it.
So there's the 2-point conversion again. You talked about that, chasing that two-point conversion all evening. 18-14 the score at the half. The Bisons trailing UAM, and going into the halftime with a young team after giving up a touchdown right before the end of the half. What was the mindset there in the locker room? Because I know you wanted the focus to get back because you're going to get the football to start the third quarter.
Well, the offense knew. I mean, they knew that they couldn't stop them. I mean, when they get rolling, those guys know it and they can feel it, and that was a big deal. Obviously, the big plays to Tolliver was the biggest concern. We felt like we can keep them from running the football. But, you know, the kids had a great look in their eye and they're ready to play again. You know, the thing about Saturday night that was different from the rest of the year was the guys seemed to be having more fun. I was having fun. I can't describe exactly why, but they really seemed to turn it loose, have a great time, play with joy. When you play with some joy, good things happen, and we're going to keep on doing that.
So 18-14 UAM led at the break in the football game on Saturday night. Stay with us. We'll come back and look at a lot of highlights in the second half. The Bisons really got things going in the second half offensively, and we'll come back and look at the third quarter right after this.
When I was 6, I had one thing on my mind. When I was 6, my days were spent playing basketball every chance I could. When I was 6, my dream was to make it to the NBA. When I was 6, my mom had a stroke.
I'm Paul George, and I want you to learn the signs of a stroke fast. F-A-S-T.
F, face drooping. A, arm weakness. S, speech difficulty. T, time to call 911. Because the sooner they get to the hospital, the sooner they'll get treatment. And that can make a remarkable difference in their recovery.
Protect the ones you love.
Spot a stroke, F-A-S-T, fast.
Back on Harding football with Paul Simmons. The Bisons down 18-14 at the half. We don't have footage, Coach, of the next drive, but your football team would start the second half big way. 6 plays, 70 yards, take the lead 21-18 in the third quarter on the first series, but UAM would come right back and answer the touchdown. And in fact, we do have footage, so there is the touchdown.
Well,
yeah.
No, coming out, getting the ball first and marching down and driving, that was a big confidence deal for sure. And, you know, Coach Wheaton and Coach Hill and Underwood, those Coach Chisholm, they had great answers all night. And I thought the play calling was the best it's been all season. You know, one big thing is we were able to get the ball on the perimeter, get the ball pitched outside, and that really was a big deal for us. Cause we got edge guys that can really run, but we got to get the ball in their hands better. This was, to me, the most frustrating play of the night. You know, we had a twist over there, and they guys split it and just kind of had a bust. And, you know, besides that run, we hold them to 60 yards rushing, but that was a killer right there, and you know, I'd love to have that play back.
So UAM comes right back. Now they kick the extra point. They take a 25-21 lead and kicking it off to the Bisons right here and see if the Bisons can answer right here.
Now it's respond time. How do you respond? How do you respond? And
got a great return.
Starting off with a great return by Beyonce. That guy's a step away from scoring whenever he touches the football. But getting the ball on the 45 was a big deal.
That was a big play on first down, a 4-yard loss on first down, and made it tough on that series and forced the punt.
Yeah, you know, our offenses, you know, well, most offenses are not very good at 2nd and 15, and we're not either. But right now we're in a tough situation. We're down 4, and we just got stopped. They got the ball and driving, and you know, if the team's not tough-minded, their eyes kind of start getting down, start having some doubt. But I think our guys never did that, even though it's fixing to get worse.
Tolliver again on the receiving end there, and then Tolliver right here puts UAM up 32-21 with a pass, 20-yard pass there from Sears. And Coach, love the response though from your football team right here, because you're down 32-21 here in the third quarter. Yeah,
no doubt, boy, no doubt. This is the time when you figure out what you're made of, and boy, our guys just kept responding. The offense just kept pounding away, wearing them down, not giving in. Great run by Grant Cameron. Look at that guy go now.
Thought he was going to score for a moment,
I was
Coach.
shocked that guy caught him. That guy must be really, really fast because Grant's fast now.
Jeremy Jackson saved the touchdown, but the Bison's punching in here.
Is that the 4th down score?
Yes. Yeah, 4th down, Zach Shelley.
4th down toss right there. Boy, that was a big time convert for us right there. You know, I told Coach Wheaton all night, I said, we're going to play to win. You know, you get us close on 4th down, we're going for it. And we got them converted.
But you're still down 4 now, and the defense really needs to come up with a stop here, and they would respond.
Yeah, no doubt. Big stop, big stand right here. I thought the kids played with energy and passion all night, really. You know, you give up 500 yards and you think, man, where was the defense? But you know, I didn't feel that way. They played really hard. They just had a great playmaker that made it tough for us.
Tucker with a solid run right there.
Great run by Tristan. His whole family was here from South Florida, and so fun to see him get loose right there a little bit.
Now we move into the 4th quarter. Bison's trailing but trying to take the lead here late. This is a great effort.
Fantastic effort. Great run by Grant. You know, Grant, he had a big night for us, not just on the yards, but boy, he blocked really, really well, very unselfish.
And, Coach, that was on 3rd down. That was a 3rd down play, and he was able to get it just inside the pylon.
Big deal. Yeah, keep us out of 4th and short. Big deal for sure.
Bisons take the lead now, 35-32, and you knew with the UAM offense that you still had work to do because, you know, they're going to come right at you after a penalty on the kickoff here.
Yeah, no doubt. You know, getting the 1st down stop, getting them in 2nd and 12, boy, that's a big deal. And this was this should have been a turnover. That was a cause fumble we recovered. I don't know why they didn't make that call for us, but you know, that really would have changed the game. But that was a great pursuit effort right there.
That was a stop on 3rd down to force this punt. The ball was touched up around the 40-yard line, so not down at the 20-yard line.
Love to see Frank field that ball, but it's okay. Yeah, got him off sides, jump ball to Dather, and he's going to win the jump ball almost every time. And there's that man again.
Cole Chansey.
You know, when you start watching, you start seeing UAM defenders stand on the ground a little bit longer, on their knees a little longer, slow getting up, and that lets you know that we're grinding them down. And they really did just grind them down.
Bison's now up 42-32. That was a big touchdown, Coach, to put you up 2 scores
Big
in the
time.
4th quarter.
Yeah, it really was. And we let Logan Penn get out right here. We actually recruited Logan Penn. He's a great young man. I'm proud of him, but just not right there.
44-yard return. And Sears, he can scramble as well. We saw that.
We were nervous all night about him getting loose and scrambling. He didn't get loose as much as we thought, but
Jalen Tolliver there, 39-yard reception.
I never want to see that again.
And again, going for 2 right here, Coach, down 4 and broken up by the Bisons.
That is a small bright spot. We had a lot of stops on 2-point conversions.
You got the hands team in there, UAM, with a short kick, but you get it. And here comes with Coach Chansey with one of the greatest runs we've seen.
Just a dagger. I mean, just look at the broken tackles, the missed tackles. Just a dagger. What a tough guy.
48 yards, and Coach, he was carrying people into the end zone.
Yeah, I mean, that guy has got tremendous willpower, and just, boy, what a winner.
And then after UAM had gotten it to 4, you come right back and answer, 49-38 now. 2 plays, 54 yards on that drive.
Yeah, unbelievable answer. I mean, the offense was special, really. Then the big pick to kind of put things away right here. Christian Witt with a pick, and poor guy took it out of his hands, and Deontay picked it up. But you know, I tell you, you know, this is going to sound odd, but you know, last year, boy, the wins seemed to come so easy, and they're not easy right now, and they, you know, the guys seem to be enjoying it more because they know that it's not easy.
Cole Chansey with his 4th touchdown right there, and after a forced turnover from the defense, the defense forced that, and you take advantage of it.
Yeah, you know, that's the story the last 2 weeks when, you know, getting takeaways and then making them pay. So, really big deal. Got to keep doing that. It's hard to beat a good team if you're going to take the ball out of their hands, son.
UAM with one last chance right here, and boy, they fight right to the finish. Late touchdown for UAM to put it at 56-46. They get the 2-point conversion there, and then one last chance here with the onside kick. Your team, great job there with the hands guys up front.
Yeah, boy, we have worked the hands team now. I tell you what, I got a lot of respect for Coach Jackson, for Coach Ship, those guys, and they're going to win a bunch of football games. That's a good group. It's a good coaching staff, and you know, I'm hurting for them a little bit because they've lost a bunch of close ball games in the last few years, and they deserve some good things to happen to them.
You mentioned when we first came on the air, Coach, with the show, some guys really had some big nights. We have to talk about Cole Chansey. 23 carries, 157 yards on the ground. That's a tremendous night from a true freshman from Commerce, Georgia.
Yeah, unbelievable. And you know, nobody knows this, but he actually kind of rolled his ankle in the first quarter and played the whole night that way. Just a tremendous teammate. He doesn't say anything. He just goes to work, and special night for a true freshman. And
Grant Kimberlin also with 122 yards. Zach Shelley with 94 yards. The Bisons would rush for 474 yards, 535 yards of total offense in the game on Saturday night. We need to take a break right here. When we come back, we have much more ahead. In fact, we're going to hear from Cole Chansey and Grant Kimberlin, get a question for Coach from a fan, and look ahead to this week's game with Ouachita after this timeout.
The inherent right to work is one of the elemental privileges of a free people. Endowed, as our nation is, with abundant physical resources, and inspired as it should be with the high purpose to make those resources and opportunities available for the enjoyment of all. We approach this problem of reemployment with the real hope of finding a better answer than we have now.
Welcome back to this week's edition of Harding Football with Paul Simmons. After the game, we caught up with Cole Chansey and Grant Kimberlin.
Cole, 23 carries, 157 yards, and 4 touchdowns. What do you attribute tonight's success to?
It starts early in the week. Coach is getting us in the game plan and counting on us to execute. And practice, we work hard, and got to give props to the guys up front, out wide, the receiver slots, and TD making his reads, and just working together as a team, everybody doing their job.
You've really picked up the college game quickly as a true freshman. Talk about the experience you had as a high school player in this offense and how much easier that has made it for you as you transition to college.
I know, just always in my mind, from high school coaches to the coaches now, it's always work hard, don't take a play off, count on others besides you, and it just carried over, coming from a school that taught that, and it's even more brought up here, and you know, people buy in on it. We're all in, just execute.
The beginning of this week, the coaches were telling us all week this is going to be a big week for the offense and just how we're going to keep rolling. Last week we got a little motivation in us to keep the thing rolling, and so I think that helped this week with encouraging everybody on the team and just making sure we're all staying up. And man, I'm talking about that offensive line blocked their hearts out today, and I mean that wouldn't have been possible for any of our runs without the offensive line and Terrence making the right reads, everybody blocking on the perimeter. It was just an overall good game by the offense for sure.
Coach, we talked about Cole Chansey before the break, and I touched on Grant Kimberlin. 122 yards for Grant Kimberlin. Outstanding night for him as well. Talk about him, and then also what those guys were giving a lot of credit to those big guys up front, the offensive line.
Well, the O-line was fantastic, obviously. But, you know, the thing about Grant that you don't see it on the stat sheet is, you know, it's so crucial that our slots are great blockers.
Yeah.
And that guy, you know, did a great job blocking. And well, that's an unselfish act. and he did a great job with that. You know, at slot, it's difficult because some weeks you might not get a touch. And, you know, last week he got 1 touch. And this week he had 122 yards. And this offense is all about taking what they give you. And you've got to have the right kind of people that can function in that kind of environment. So really proud of him for Saturday's performance.
All right, it's time now for this week's question for Coach Simmons from a fan. We'll do that right now.
I'm here with freshman Mariana Andrews for this week's question for Coach Paul Simmons.
Coach Simmons, what's the difference in routines between home games and away games?
I'm Bailey Hedden for the Harding Sports Network. Back to you.
And we always enjoy those questions. Thank you, Bailey, for the questions from our fans. And, boy, it changes my routine up, Coach. We have to get up and go on the road and stuff. I know it has to change the team's routine.
Yeah, you know, especially when it's an overnight ball game. And really what happens when you have an overnight ball game is you basically lose Friday's work day on campus. You know, you don't do your walkthroughs or anything because you're on the bus. But in return, you know, you spend more time together. You know, we'll have a conference room in the hotel, and we'll have meetings in there. And you know, there are some very positive parts, just being together away from everybody else. And but you know, you got to have mature guys to deal with not being in your own bed, sometimes sharing a bed. You know, it's different, it's difficult, but you know, I look forward to it. I look forward to getting our guys away from the distractions that they have here, and where it's just us and our task. And so there are some differences, but it's good.
Coach, not only going on the road this week, but playing the Ouachita Baptist Tigers this week, and a very good football team, only 1 loss, and coming off a huge win at Arkansas Tech. This will be a huge challenge Saturday.
Yeah, it's a challenge for us, and it's a noon ball game, but it's something that we look forward to. That this game has been a close ball game for a lot of years in a row, and generally the record doesn't mean very much. Those guys, you know, they love to beat us, and we love to beat them. There's a trophy involved, and whenever there's a trophy, you know, we want to win a trophy. But our guys are excited, got a lot of confidence, and I've got a lot of good memories of playing down there, so I'm looking forward to headed down there. But definitely have a big challenge.
All right, Coach, have a great week, and best wishes on the trip down to Arkadelphia on Saturday.
Okay, thank you, Billy.
That's all the time we have on this week's edition of Harding Football with Paul Simmons. We'll have the radio broadcast, noon kickoff, down in Arkadelphia at Ouachita Baptist on Saturday. We'll see you next time.